So you guys had a block drain how long ago now?
We bought this house in August
Yep.
last year, and it was kind of okay. The problem only creeped up maybe like 3 weeks after we moved in.
Yep.
And it was more like just, we noticed it because it was a foul smell
Yep.
that started in the ensuite bathroom, and it will come and go, and it would just get so bad sometimes that we'd have to actually sleep here in the living room.
Yeah, right.
Because we couldn't handle the smell.
Yep.
And then we had problems with our toilet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then we went away, and when we came back, we thought, okay, we'll get someone to come have a look at it.
Yep.
So,
We went away for Christmas.
yeah, we went away for Christmas.
Yeah.
So it just got gradually worse to the point we were like, okay, we need to
Fix it.
fix it.
Fix it, yep.
Yeah.
And how did you go about finding a plumber or somebody to fix the problem for you or to solve the issue?
Well, I said to my wife one morning, I'm probably going to finish work early. So when I got home, I thought to myself, we don't have much time, so I just straight away went on the internet, Googled some plumbers, and thought to myself, okay, whoever can come out, that has a decent review, I'll get them to come out. So I just called a few plumbers, and then, yeah, someone said they'll come out within the hour.
Yep.
So I said, all right, I'm waiting.
And
Yeah.
then what happened sort of from the call to them arriving, and then when they got here,
Okay.
what was your experience there?
Well, it was pretty normal. Just, from the call, hanged up, and then basically just knocked on the door and said, hey, I'm here.
Yep.
I'm your plumbing service. And I said, great. Come in, have a look at the problem.
Yep.
So from there, he went into the toilet, flushed the toilet. It's a bit of a gurgle.
Yep.
You can kind of smell it. And I said to him, yeah, we need this unblocked.
Yep.
And he said, okay, no worries. Got a couple of different methods I can use. And so he basically just said, look, I'm going to try and get it free with a hand pump. And so he basically went up to me and said, okay, before I start, this is how much it's going to cost to do this. Sign here on the dotted line.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, no worries. So signed it, and then he basically went to the car and started his work. And I just thought, okay, I'll let him go.
Yep.
So I just went off and continued to do some work on the computer type thing.
Yep.
And then he basically came back after a very short time and said, oh, look, didn't work.
Yep.
On to the next step.
Yep.
And so I said, okay, no worries. And so he went back to the car, whipped out some more gear, and he said, I'm going to do some CCTV down the pipes, have a look, and do some jet blasting. I said, no worries. And so he was looking around the house, and then he looked outside, and then I just kind of left him looking out the window.
Yep.
And he basically went around, put the things down the pipe, and after not very long, probably like half an hour or so, he basically came in and said, look, didn't work.
Yep.
I'll do a little bit more looking around. So did some more looking around, once again, in a very short amount of time.
Yep.
Came back in and said, look, this is how much it's going to cost for today, which he quoted, $1,000.
Yep.
And that was shocking. I was like,
Yep.
geez, $1,000. You haven't even been here for an hour and a half so far.
Yep. Was the drain clear at that point?
No.
No.
So it's still blocked.
Yep.
No, he hadn't really gotten anywhere.
Okay.
So, yeah. And that's when he sat me down and said, look, I'm going to have to talk about the problems outside.
Yep.
And by that stage, I was like, oh, geez, $1,000. And anyway, and he sat me down and he was like, look, drain's blocked, there's some damage to the pipe. He's checked out the front, and he's basically said to fix it, it's going to cost, nearly $20,000.
Yep.
And by then, like, my heart just stopped. I just sat down on the chair, like, 20 grand. It's like, that's crazy, I just stopped thinking, at that point.
Yep. And how long had he been on site before he made that assumption or that diagnosis? of the problem.
He was there for just under 2 hours.
2 hours.
And that's with him, introducing, getting his gear out.
Yeah.
And packing it away.
And still to get no
Results.
No result. The drain was still
No results. Yeah. So.
Our main concern was that sometimes when we'd flush the toilet, it would back up, I guess, in a way, the water. But mainly it was the smell that we wanted to get rid of because we couldn't even use our bedroom sometimes.
Yeah. So you guys had no idea that the smell was the block drain. The block drain was causing the smell.
We just knew there was a problem and we needed it fixed.
We just knew that the
something
drain
wasn't right.
The drain was probably blocked.
Yep.
And we didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, that generally is the first sign
Yep.
of a block drain is a smell, and then gurgling follows, and then you have the overflow and all the rest of it.
Yep.
So you were on the right track there. So
yeah, I suppose we reached out. We don't have the expertise ourselves, so we just called up a plumber that people had rated.
We knew to the area
good.
as well,
Yep.
and we didn't know any local plumbers. So I mean, so that we do what people normally do, just go on Google and search for a plumber. So yeah.
And that was just a general plumber you looked for.
Yeah,
You didn't look
general.
for a block drain specialist or anything like that.
We didn't know.
No.
Well, the first person you think of is just a general plumber.
Yeah.
to come.
Get the plumber out.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that there was a specialist.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 For things like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So we decided to get a second opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, before we got the second opinion, I was like shocked.
Yeah.
And the amount of pressure that it's like you need to do it now.
Yep.
You need to do it now, otherwise, this problem's going to get worse. It's going to cost more money. It's
going to lose a discount.
So what kind of things were they saying to you in regards to basically try and get you to sign on the dotted line and lock you in to these repairs?
They were basically saying, like you need.
He got you on the phone to the manager.
Yeah, he's like, oh look, I know it's a lot of money. Let me call my supervisor, type thing.
Yep.
So he was trying to, make like he was doing a deal.
Yep.
And so the manager actually talked to me on the phone and said, look, I know it's a lot of money. I know you've got a family, a new house. It's like, look, how about we waive today's fees, and you just pay the $18,000-$19,000 that we quoted you later on. So you're saving, like they're trying to say that you're saving money.
Yep.
And and so that was just really, back and forth, dropping the price little by little, as you're going. It's like first it's 20, then it's 19, then it's 18, and then they're like, oh no, the lowest we can go is $17,500.
Yeah. So it started at close to 20.
Close to 20.
They dropped it down to 17.
Yeah.
Which is quite a substantial
Yeah.
We assumed so because
discount when you for them to be able to say it's 20,000 and then drop down to 17. That's quite a discount to drop off. So it
was a lot of pressure because they're trying to say that this is a huge favour that they're doing for us.
Okay. And you guys felt pressured during that whole process.
Definitely.
From like a sales point of view, they tried to railroad you into the.
And it's our home. It's our first home, and we want to make sure that it's it's ours. So we're not like leasing or anything. So we want to make sure that it's all livable and we're looking after it. And from what they were telling us, it was something that we needed to do urgently. Yeah. Yeah. So or else it's gonna blow up, kind of thing.
Okay, so it was kind of like the doom and gloom stories of like you need to fix this or your pipes are going to collapse and you're going to have all these dramas.
It was like if you don't fix it immediately,
it's
going to be even worse and worse. But he was literally there for probably the same amount of time talking to me about trying to get the $17,000 job for the same amount of time that he was there trying to work on the drain.
Okay. Yep.
So trying to work on the blocked toilet. So
instead of working to get your initial problem solved, he was more interested in selling you the bigger, ticket item. Yeah. And you felt you pressured and.
Yeah. Well, even like when he put the CCTV camera, he didn't show me anything.
Yeah.
He just said I did it.
Yep.
But when it came to the big problem, he's like, I'll come out, I'll explain to you what the big problem is, and But he didn't really show me anything, and just took me out the front and said, look, we've got to rip this all up, we've got to do everything, like massive type thing. And I was like, okay, shocked. We
don't know any better, so.
So basically from there, it was just, called my wife up, I'm like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And she was the level-headed one, because I was just thinking, oh my gosh, the amount of money.
Yeah.
And she's just like, look, just let's get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Basically. So I had to literally say, look, guys, we need time. And they were still trying to get me to sign on the dotted line. But finally I just said, look, you got to go.
Yeah. So you basically had to push them.
I basically had to say, no, you got to get out. We're going to get a second opinion.
Okay. That's what I refer to as a drain shark.
A drain shark?
A drain shark. Yes, because they come in.
Perfect description.
And they sell you all these stories and doom and gloom and give you a diagnosis when the drain's still blocked, for one, so you can't see in the drain with the drain camera. It will just give you the rough location of the blockage, because obviously your camera will stop when it hits a blockage and it's under the murky water. So you know roughly where the blockage is. You don't know what's causing it. And you don't know how much pipe is exactly affected by what the cause is. So it's very hard to give an estimate on something that you can't see.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And I believe your issue was not the location he wanted to repair was not even where the actual issue was that we found, and actually showed you on the camera.
That's right. Yeah. Well, basically, after that, I got on the phones and I was like, okay, we need a second opinion. Once again, no experience, but I started calling plumbers again.
Yep.
But this time I had more information.
Yep.
So I was like, look, a plumber's already come out, quoted this much, and instantly plumbers were saying that's a very big amount of money.
Yep.
Some people were saying you could, do a whole sewer system, brand new type of thing.
Yep.
for that amount of money. And so, red flags going up in my head. Anyway, so I just wanted to get someone to come have a look at it. So one plumber said, look, I'm really busy, but I know of a guy who specialises in this type of thing. I'll give him a call and let you know if he's available. And so he basically went off and said, yep, he's available, here's his number.
Yep.
And that was Sherlock Drains.
Yep.
That was you. So, straight away you called me up. You said, look, it's all right, calm down, I'm going to come have a look at it, which was great for me because I was really worried about it being busy with work and the family and stuff. Yep. It was good just to have someone to say, look, it's all right, I'll take care of it. Just,
And being confident.
Just wait. Yeah, and being confident, And so, basically slept on it that night. In the morning, you were there straight first thing in the morning, which was great. And then, straight away, it told you the story and you were straight into it. Pulled the gear out of the car and straight away you put the CCTV down the drain just to investigate what was going on. And the nice thing about it was that, I was inside before with just the plumber and just watching, and there was no information. There was no communication. It was just, sorry, it didn't work, next thing.
Yep.
Whereas with you, I was, you were like, follow me around, come have a look.
Yep.
Which was great because I was obviously interested and wanted to know what was going on. So, you let me follow you around, and I watched the CCTV camera go down. I watched it go through the entire pipe, which was really long.
Yep.
You're pushing it through, and I got to see the whole thing of the whole drain, all the way down to the blockage.
Yep.
And you were able to pinpoint that straight away.
Yep.
And then, basically, you knew exactly what to do from there.
Yep.
You said, no worries. We should be able to get this unblocked, no worries.
Yep.
And so, you got your high pressure hoses out, which is basically what the other plumber said he did do.
Yep.
And you got straight to the blockage.
Yep.
Unblocked it in no time.
Yep. So it was efficient.
It was efficient. Yep. It was efficient, straightforward, and not only that, after you unblocked it, you pulled up what was the blockage. You showed me what the issue was.
Yep.
And in this case, it was previous owners flushing baby wipes down the drain.
Yep.
And it was just a whole row of baby wipes, you know.
Yep.
And so you showed me all that, and then you inspected the whole drain, and you know, cleaned it up and made it usable.
Yep.
So you basically fixed our problem.
Yep.
And
solved the initial problem, and then
that's right.
Then we could work on a permanent solution from there, on the actual solution, and on the actual problem, and then get the right solution for the problem.
That's right.
Which we quoted up, and gave you an upfront price on that, and
which was significantly lower than the initial quote we got from the first plumber.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And there was more work involved in what we were going to do as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You were getting more of your drain repaired as opposed to a small section.
Well, the initial quote was this 3 metre section, you know, out the front, which wasn't even really where the problem was in the end, you know. It was only part of it. And so, you know, you quoted us the proper thing, and yes, like my wife said, still lower than what we were quoted, and it had a better, you know, it would be
a
long-term solution. Like, you know, it wouldn't be a 5-year solution, it would be a, you know, 30, 40 year fix, you know.
And it was obviously guaranteed as well.
Yeah, that's right, guaranteed. So if any issues, you'd come back and fix it. So
what we liked that was with the beginning, with the first plumber, there was a lot of pressure and there was a lot of, you know, anxiety. But with Sherlock Drains, it was just friendly. There was no pressure at all. It was just telling us what the problem was and says, look, it's your decision to make. And we felt really comfortable and really confident with that, just not feeling like someone was trying to take advantage of us because we didn't know any better about, you know, plumbing or things like that. So that was really lovely.
That's great. That's what I like to hear. That's what I strive for. And I mean, we're here to help, and that's you know, and to provide a service for you guys and make sure you guys are happy and get taken care of and not taken advantage of, and provide you a service with integrity. And there's no pressure there. So
100%. And you know, we were so happy with the result. You know,
that was about a little over a month ago now that whole thing happened, and we haven't had any smells or any problems with the toilet.
No
so
issues.
The, you know, promise that was given has, you know,
we've delivered on what we said.
Yeah, definitely.
Or I've delivered on what I said.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing is that, you know, when I was, you know, basically shadowing you the whole day because you were happy, you know, invited me to do that. You know, which was good. You know, I could see how hard you were working. I could see that you were, you know, really working and explaining things to me as I'm going. You know, and you know, that hard work just shows how much of a, you know, how good you are at specialising in, you know, in drains. Whereas the other plumber was, you know, he'd just poke around and, you know, it was almost like couldn't be bothered. You guys aren't important enough.
Okay.
You know. For me to get my hands dirty. You know. So that was really nice. You know, it felt like, you know, you're really trying to work hard for us, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you guys are happy with the service and happy with me coming out and looking after you guys. So that's why I do what I do, is to get stories like this from you guys that have had a bad experience with a plumber in our industry. And while there is a lot of great plumbers around,
definitely,
there are a lot of shonky ones, you know, and drain sharks, which, I mean, drains are very easy to sort of skirt around the issues and tell you stories about the drain because you can't see the drain. You're relying on the camera inside the drain. And a lot of the time, the footage you're being shown isn't necessarily live footage of your drain. So that's why I like to show you guys live in-drain footage and have you follow me from the time we speak at the front door to the time you pay the bill. So, and that's, you know, as long as your safety during the job is not at risk, then we're more than happy for you to be quite close to what we're doing and seeing exactly what I do and how I do it. So I'm glad you're happy, basically. So
I'm 100% happy. It was great.
So after I came out, how did you guys feel regarding the issue as opposed to before? Obviously, you guys were stressed out, thinking that you had to fork out.
It was like a huge
$20,000
weight.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Off because, like I said, it's our first home, and we've just, taken out a huge mortgage, and then just to be told, actually, it's going to cost you an extra $20,000. And we're a young family, so.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't have that kind of money sitting in our back pockets. But after dealing with Sherlock Drains, after dealing with you, it was just a huge weight off our shoulders, and the immediate issue was no longer an issue, and we had a plan for long term to fixing, finding a more permanent solution for the drains. Yeah,
exactly. Just felt, our mountain of a problem just turned into
something manageable.
And how did you feel about when you called me? The first point of call, your first interaction with me on the phone, how was that? How did you guys feel about that?
Straight away, I just felt relieved,
yeah.
Because of, me explaining what the problem was. Straight away, just reassuring, like, don't worry, I'll pretty confident I'll be able to sort it out for you. You just focus on what you need to do, and I'll come out and fix the problem. So that was just such a relief.
And the fact that the previous plumber made it sound so urgent, and so we felt like we needed someone to come urgently, and we thought it was this big problem. And so after speaking with you, and we were really grateful that you could come really early the very next day, because the other plumbers that we tried to reach, they weren't available, they had other jobs. So it was really nice to have someone come straight away the very next day.
When they said they would come, I came.
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like when you first called the plumber, the first time, it was just, I'll be there when I can get there.
Yeah.
There was nothing. I tried to explain my problem. It was just like, when I get there, I'll look. Yeah. I'll determine what the problem is, type thing.
So they weren't interested in what?
They weren't interested
in
what you wanted to tell them.
And when they came, obviously they're just like, leave me alone. I'll source of this, but it was good calling you. You listened to me for, I don't even know how long, but I must have explained the story to you for a fair decent amount of time.
Yeah.
You just sitting there listening to what I was saying, and then in the end you just basically just friendly and said, no worries, I'll be there tomorrow. Type
and
thing.
Let's get to the bottom of it. Get it solved.
So.
Yeah.
It was such a different experience. It was so different.
Yeah.
And having specialists such as yourself come was just such a better experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you guys, if you say you were to look for something to be repaired in the house in the future, would you tend to go and look for a specialist over, say, a generalist?
After that experience, so we now know better. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Just because we know that the service,
exists.
will be exists. And it'll be exactly like it was last time with you.
Yeah.
And a lot more. The other, like we say, he was a general plumber.
Yeah.
Whereas after dealing with a specialist, you knew exactly what the problem was, even just from the description, and when you came, what you had initially told us over the phone, was it what you found?
Yeah.
That which, even increased our confidence in your service even more. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I would say our biggest takeaway from this is, obviously if someone else had a problem with a drain, that we would tell them to go to a specialist.
Yep.
Call a specialist up instead of dealing with a general plumber, because, and share our experience, because we didn't know that there was a specialist dealing with drains, and now we do, and so we're definitely, moving forward with our plan to, fix our drains more, with a permanent solution in the future. Definitely, stick with Sherlock Drains, and for anyone else, so that they don't have to go through the anxiety and worry and the stress that we did.
So if you could tell the best advice to somebody if they have a blocked drain and they do engage a general plumber and the plumber turns up and Rain Shark, is there anything you could advise people with this issue what to look out for early on in the process so they could avoid what you guys went through?
I think the first thing is don't panic.
Yep.
I think that was my pitfall. I think I panicked. I was like, oh no, But I think the first thing is to just say, look, there's nothing wrong with getting a second opinion. Don't freak out, And first of all, just take a breath and realise that, when something like that happens, to think, okay, hang on, maybe this is a bit. There's a better solution out there.
Yeah.
And
always get a second opinion.
Always get a second opinion, and always, always get someone who, like you said before, get a specialist to come in.
Yeah.
So.
And what made us feel confident was that another plumber who was also professional, in dealing with us over the phone, that he recommended you as well.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So that instilled even more confidence that somebody in the trade already recommended us.
Yeah.
Or recommended me to you.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah, he did say. Yeah, because he said, look, he did. He said, look, this guy's really good. He's a specialist. So he'll be able to come out and fix your problem.
Yeah.
And he even said himself, he said, look, I can do it. He's like, but, I can get, this fella can come out and do it. This is what he does.
Yeah.
Not implying that he's better, but he is saying you're more equipped, more experienced in that sort of thing.
And more efficient.
Efficient, He basically said, if it was me, I would subcontract you out. I'd just be like, he'd pay you to come and do the job for him type thing. So,
So. Great. Cool. All right, so that was it.